of the committee, it is indeed an honor and privilege to sit before you today. I've had the opportunity to do this all over the country. I've been in 44 states around the country. I've seen many legislatures and legislators. Doing so has dramatically changed my opinion about the state of American politics. If you watch television today, so many of us do, probably many of us were last night, we could be frustrated by the rancor and partisanship and frankly the lack of statesmanship that we see in Washington, D.C. I hear that all the time as I travel around the country. As I come into these state legislatures, I've had the opportunity to do this repeatedly over the last 5 years, what I see are the kinds of statesmen and stateswomen that the founders intended to run the country. The founders specifically imbued you with power under Article 5. This is something that most state legislators are not aware of. I often ask state legislators if they know who the most powerful people are in the federal government. They name maybe the Supreme Court, the President, Speaker, majority leaders, but they don't ever name themselves as state legislators. Yet Article 5 gives you a power given to nobody else in the government, nobody in the federal system except for you. That is the power to call a convention, to propose amendments, and to ratify those amendments, thereby fundamentally altering the structure of our federal governance system. It's an incredible power. We have to ask ourselves, why is it that the founders, those men that we revere so much that gave us this incredible system of governance, gave that power to you, specifically to you? And I think the answer is self-evident. It's because the founders were indeed you. You fill their shoes. They were members of state legislatures, county councils, county boards. They understood local governance was the essence of the American system of governance, and they knew a time would come when the federal government exceeded its bounds and only people who were close to the people would be able to rein it in. They intended you, like themselves, to be the last line of defense for liberty. It really is an extraordinary responsibility, and I believe you have a moral obligation to exercise that responsibility. In a time when there is so much vitriol and division in the country, at a time when virtually every issue is 50-50 or 49-51, or if it's wildly one-sided, it's 48-52, this is an issue on which the American public is not divided. Largely, the citizens of your great state support it. When we poll states across the nation, we find that 2/3 of all citizens support calling a convention of states for the reasons we've outlined. You can look around this hearing room and see people wearing buttons. There are almost 18,000 citizens in this great state who signed the petition. Now, you will all receive copies of the names and addresses of all those citizens. This is really important because you're going to receive thousands of what I would describe as spam emails from all over the country telling you not to support this. Some of them produced by machine, they're just bots. The ones that come from our organization, I ask you, I would challenge you, look at those petitions. You will see they are from your district. Because we have respect for you as state legislators, we understand you're busy, and only your constituents should be contacting you. You will also hear from the opposition that there is no law, there is nothing that we know about this, nobody can know what Article 5 is all about. I would challenge you to pick up this book, The Law of Article 5 by Rob Nadelson. I have several of them here. We have more than 30 for distribution. This is a legal treatise on all the law surrounding Article 5, all the decisions that have made, all the certainty about this subject. So when people tell you we have no idea, there's a legal treatise that's been written that's just completely untrue. And then I would like to close with this. For me, this is a matter of something very simple. We debate complicated issues. You debate them here in the legislature all the time. We debate them on the national stage. Issues of, do we have national health care? Do we have private health care? Do we have a corporate tax this high or this high? We debate immigration. The underlying premise of all of those debates is that the decisions should be made in Washington, D.C., far away from Arkansas, by people who don't necessarily have Arkansas's interests in mind. But I think the appropriate debate to have, that we should have today, that we should be having every day all over the country, is a very simple question. And the question is, who decides? Does Washington, D.C. decide for Arkansas? Currently, they have influence over 65% of your budget. Are we going to let Washington, D.C. continue to decide for folks in Arkansas? Or are folks in Arkansas going to decide for themselves? If you believe that folks in Arkansas should decide for themselves like I do, like all of these people in this room do, like the 18,000 people who signed the petitions do, then I hope that you'll support this resolution today. Thank you.
Any questions? Are there any questions from committee members? Representative Ladyman, you're recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Merkler, I have a question for you.